Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Soup Bowl, where I'm your host, Renee Murdoch. Hey, we're here talking about life gets messy, right? When we're leading our own lives. So I thank you for going on this journey with me in my life, and I am so grateful to go on the journey with you as well. So, out here in these streets, things be happening, right? Every day things are happening to us. And when we're, deciding to make certain decisions, sometimes things can get messy. And so we just go with the flow, right? We don't know what's going to happen each and every day. But what we can do is make great decisions and stand by them for what they are, or even change our mind even when making those decisions. So yesterday I had such an interesting day in class. And so this is how I'm grateful for what happened because it allowed me to utilize tools that I've been, collecting over the years, right? So what happened yesterday was I went to class and I was, pumped up and I was so excited because I had just came out of a coaching session and objectives were, being made and goals were being, put on paper. And so I was just so juvenated, right, to go into class. And so we get in class and, information is being shared and the instructor is going on. I'm like, yeah, this is great. This is great. And so I make a suggestion like, hey, can we, go into smaller groups today? And he's like, oh, Renee, great idea, right? So we go into these groups and we have to do like, some type of role play or whatever, whatnot. So, of course, no one wants to raise their hand. So I raised my hand. I was like, okay, I'll be, the main person, blah, blah, blah. And so, we're going through this exercise for like 20 minutes and whatnot. And then there's an observer and they're supposed to give you feedback. And so we didn't have enough time in the small group, so we go into the big group, and then the instructor's like, okay, the observers, what did you see, blah, blah, blah. And so there were some words that were shared in reference to me about how I performed. And these words were pretty harsh. They were not nice words. They weren't kind words. The individual that gave the words, according to them, I did nothing right. They did not say that out of their mouth. They did not say Renee didn't do anything right. However, they didn't mention anything that I did right? And so then the person that I was working with, gave their views, whatever, too. And again, they didn't have anything nice to say. And so I sat there and I was like, "Ooh, wow, this is not nice. This is actually rude and unkind and unprofessional even." And I was like, how do I respond to this in this moment? So in that moment, I was asked, how did I feel about it? And so I said, thank you. I told both of them thank you for, what they said. And at one point, what they were saying was true. But I meant to do that. What I did, I meant to do. So I was being intentional about what I was doing. And then, and I thought about the areas, the core competencies that, we have to do in this particular class. And I was just like, I don't know. But thank you. But thank you for what you've said. So, and I left out of that class pretty down, feeling mighty bad. Okay. I'm having a Color Purple moment there. But I really was. And I was trying to convince myself, and I was like, I'm going to call the instructor and I'm going to convince them that they need to give feedback in this way. How dare they, whatever, right? And then I was going to get courageous, finger happy, spirit fingers. I was going to get courageous with my fingers, right? And that simply means that I was just going to get on LinkedIn and I was just going to, look these people up and I was going to tell them, right, that they were not nice and they weren't kind and blah, blah, blah. And so as I began to step back from the situation and I began to say, you know what, Renee, you need to coach yourself. You need to coach yourself in this situation because you can't get to your coach in another in some other weeks, right? So you need to coach yourself through this situation. You need to step back and ask yourself the hard questions. Renee, why are you going to class? What is your why behind this? 2, Renee, do you believe in yourself? Do you believe that this is what you're supposed to be doing? Thirdly, who can you control? Who can you control, Renee? 4, do you believe in yourself enough to show up again? 6, are you courageous? Does it take courage to do what you are stepping out to do? 6, does everybody have to like you? And 7, I'm on number 7 now. Okay, 6, does everybody have to like you? And then 7, why are you doing this in the first place? Why are you doing this? Is it for money? Is it for fame? Is it for, your name and lights or whatever the case may be? Why are you doing this, going to this class every day, looking to get, whatever it is out this class, at the end of it? Would you have gained what it is that you needed? Do these people know you? Do they have enough close proximity to you for you to even to value their opinions? And do you understand and know why you are here? So I had to ask myself these questions. It could have been more, I don't know. But I do know that those were some of the questions that I had to ask myself. And then I had to go down even the core competencies and see if I had missed anything within that. So Renee, are you happy with who you are? Do you show up in spaces as being your true, authentic self? Did you come with the right intentions? Okay. These are all questions I had to ask myself. And then when I got my answer, then I was able to say, hey, thank you. Thank you for reminding me of who I am. Thank you for giving me another another push, another battery in my back to keep going. Thank you for helping me understand the importance of our words. Thank you for helping me understand the importance of providing a safe place for people. Thank you for helping me understand how much energy it takes to be intentional, to be kind to someone. Thank you for helping me understand that everyone is not going to be for you, and you were not created for everyone. You were created for certain types of people, and those are the people that you're going to draw. It's the people that are listening right now. Those are the individuals that you're going to draw. Those are the individuals that you're speaking to. Those are the individuals that you're going to help. Those are the individuals that's even going to help you see things in new ways. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for helping me understand that it wasn't rejection. It was just a perception. Oh, come on now. Come on. Okay. It wasn't rejection. It was just a perception. Because everybody has one. Everyone has one because it's not you. How many times are you sitting there looking at a show or someone cooking or whatever that they're doing, changing a tire, whatever, and you're like, I wouldn't have did it like that. They should have did it like this. Or they should have did this and that, whatever. If they only would have did it like this, it would have been better. Blase, blase, blase. Everybody has a perception. Everybody has one. That doesn't mean that it's right or that it's wrong. It's just that everybody has one. Not only that, but we all have our own worlds. We're not all living in the same world, people. Woo-woo! We're not all living in the same world. And I had to say that to myself yesterday too. We're not all living in the same world. Am I trying to be an NBA star? No. I know that's not my lot. I know that's not my lot, okay? So I'm not trying to be. Am I trying to be a famous chef? No, I'm not, because I don't like to cook. You hear me? I don't like to cook, so why am I out here pretending that I want to be a chef when I'm not? See, I understand who I am, right? And I have to I have to keep reminding myself, right? And you know, if you all know the story of David, if you don't know, right? He encouraged himself. He encouraged himself. And so we have to encourage ourselves every day when we wake up and what we're doing, especially when we hear certain words that we know not to be true. Because we're all living in our own worlds. A world that we created based upon circumstances, situations, culture, and how we grow up. Because if we was all living in the same world and we all see everything the same way, then there would not be friction. There would not be fighting. There would not be anger and resentment. There would not be Republicans and Democrats and liberals. There would not be Buddhists. It would not be Christians. It would not be atheists. It would not be black and white and Asian and Latino, Mexican. It would not be suburbia, the ghetto. It wouldn't be. But these are all things that we created. A separation by the fact of what we believe to be true. What we believe to be of value, what we believe to be of how we want to live our lives in this world and how we want to treat one another. See, it takes more energy to be kind and intentionality. Why? Because we all were born to be selfish. We were born naturally to be selfish. And so how do we become selfless? How do we become selfless? Well, we have to practice doing it. How do we become kind and be more self-aware? It has to be intentional. It has to be intentional. See, I was feeling some type of way towards these people. Like I said, I was getting the spirit hands. I was getting the spirit hands. I was going... You know, we like to get, you know, we all in the comments and whoop de whoop. We're doing all these things that has no value. It has no value. Do I see these individuals as someone that is for me? No. But guess what? That's okay. Because they don't have to be for me. They don't have to be. And I have to be okay with that. I have to be okay with everyone is not going to like your style, Renee. The fact that they identified what it is that I was doing, I had to tell myself, you were doing it right. You was doing it right. Because they got what it is that you were doing. They saw what you were doing. And one of the comments was, it shouldn't take all that. Woo! But you don't know. You don't know what it's going to take someone from a certain mindset to get them into a more positive mindset, to get them to where they want to go. We don't know that. It's not for us to judge that. But it is for us to be there with them, to sit with them, to listen to them. And you might not get it all at one time. It might take multiple encounters. See, that's why I think it's called planting the seed, watering the seed, watching over, right? Getting those things out of there and making sure the area stays fertilized. And then there's the reaping. It's all a process. Because if I was to plant some apple seeds, and then a week later I had an apple tree, I'll be looking at that apple tree a little sideways. Now, I'm not from the country. I grew up in the city, so I'll be looking a little sideways about where did this tree come from? Are those apples authentic? Do the same type of sweetness? Are they finished? Are they ready to be consumed? Are they ready to be consumed and get the proper nourishment to who it's supposed to go to? Will I get the benefits of why this apple was created? I don't believe so. I don't believe so. I believe that it was duplicated by some type of scientist thing or whatever, and now I have this tree. But the process, okay, hold on a second. Let me just, I must look this up because this is just, woo! This is, I believe, hold on a second, that this is a thought just came to my mind about, the things that you have to go through for a process. And, I like to look stuff up. Okay, bear with me. Because I remember I lived in Georgia once, and after some years, okay, here we go. So, okay. So we were planting things, right? Having the garden or whatever in the backyard. And then, but I think we were living there already for a couple of years, and then we decided to do this. Well, when it was time to go, I still had not benefited from, planting these fruit trees. And so, of course, the people that purchased the home after us are now reaping the benefits of that fruit tree or fruit trees. It was 3 of them. So, so here it says, you will not start seeing fruit on the tree, right, after planting for 2 years. And then for it to really be a standard sized tree, depending on, right, what type, it may take between 5 to 10 years. It may take that long. I think I need to talk to a person that has an apple orchard. But it may take that long, right, for this fruit to come into fruition. So when you're talking to people, right, and you're moving them into a certain space, or you're wanting them to see a different reality than what they're currently seeing, it may take, depending on the fruit, depending on the person. So when I go into a space, I can't go into that space with the other person the same exact way. I had to get that reality. So to tell me that I am not doing something right because I took too long is not really a measuring point of, did you do something right or did you do something wrong? No, all you're telling me is what you saw me doing. Was it right? Was it wrong? So in my awareness of the situation and the individual that I was dealing with in my session, right, is that we need to take our time, right? And you may not see the fruit the next day. You may not see the fruit next week. You may not see the fruit next year. But believe you me, there is something that is happening underneath, right, that is not able to be seen yet. When we're dealing with life situations and we're going through our journey, we're going through the process, it starts on the inside first, and then it manifests itself on the outside. Right? We were talking about masks, wearing these masks that we put on. Because we're wearing these masks because we're not dealing with the inside first. If I'm checking myself first, checking my heart first, dealing with that, right? Dealing with my mind, which you cannot see. All you can see is this big old forehead, right? I'm getting this in check. Then you will begin to see the fruit on the outside. Everything is a process, people. And we must go through those processes. So my spirit hands, I had to bind them. I had to bind them out and coach myself through that situation. And I'm just letting you know, I'm human. So no matter what I even has grown through and went through and processed through, that we still have situations that occur, right? Because we're human beings, right? And the first thing, we want to return back to the old nature. We want to return back to the old ways. We want to turn back to the old ways of thinking because it's easier. It's easier to do it that way. But the new way, it takes intentionality. It takes us to be more aware, right, of who it is that we're valuing, what we deem to be important, and to really understand and know ourselves. Because before, I told you, I've dealt with rejection over the years. And so when people didn't like what I said, when people didn't like what I did, or people didn't see me when I was trying so hard to be a part, and I still wasn't being acknowledged, it was detrimental to me. And I had to learn to heal from that rejection and to understand where that was coming from. What is the root cause of this? To now, me leaving a space that didn't feel so great, but it was all purposeful to bring me back to knowing and understanding of who I am and being okay with that, and showing up the next day with a smile on my face and bringing my true self to that space. You can't take me from this place. See, this is what we have to tell ourselves. You cannot take me from the place of my promise. You can't take me from the promised land that's flowing with milk and honey. You cannot take me and move me from knowing who I am. See, you're not even aware, right, of what it is that you're doing. You live in a different world than what I live in. And in this reality, Renee's winning. Renee is victorious. Renee is purposeful. Renee is intentional. And I can't be anybody else that you want me to be. I have to be true to myself, because I have to be true to the people that I have been purposed for, and that they have been purposed for me. If I decide to be something that I'm not, then that's where the fruit becomes bitter. That's where it becomes bad. That's where it rottens. And it's not giving any nourishment to anybody. I'm not here for myself. I'm here for other people. That's the reality of it all. We have to come to a place where we're okay with other people's perception. Is their perception right? Is their perception wrong? Are we willing to ask ourselves the hard questions? And that is exactly what we have to do when we're talking about leading our own lives. Taking responsibility and accountability for the things that we're doing in the places that we're in. See, I was on a high. I was up there. Let me tell you, I was like, yeah, I'm going to class. Yeah, I done made some goals. I made some objectives. I got some new strategies. Yes. And then there was some that wanted to rain on my parade. And then I'm walking out of class and I'm like, oh my God. Can I do this? Is this for me? No, they need to give me feedback this way. This is the formula, and this is how they need to do it. What? That don't even sound right. Say it again, right? This is how they need to do it. They need to, and the instructor, how dare they allow them to keep going and blah, blah, blah. Stop. Just stop. You can't control nobody, Renee. You can't. What is it that you want? Why are you upset? What was so hurtful? Did you have the right intentions when you went into role play? Was your heart right? Did you accomplish what it was set out to do, and that was just to be there and to listen and to get the other individual to maybe take them from a different mindset and what they came in as? Where they came in frustrated and they left out not being frustrated? See, leading our lives is messy. It's messy. What would have happened if I did not deny my spirit fingers? What would have happened if I went on a rant and a rave? Would I have accomplished anything? No, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have accomplished anything. What I can say is that it was a lesson for everyone in the room of how important it is, of how we interact and how we treat and how we speak to one another. Because it affected everyone that was in the room that day. So, hey, I just want to encourage you that know who you are and be okay with that. Be okay with going through a process. A diamond is not made overnight. Good fruit is not made overnight. We don't want the lab type of food or fruit. We don't want something that is not. It's like eating fruit that's out of season, right? It's not right. You know it's not right. It doesn't taste the same. It's not giving you the proper vitamins that you need. So I just want to encourage you to know that it takes time. It takes time, and you have to remind yourself daily who you are and be okay with that. And getting to your why in everything that you do. Why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? And if you can answer that question and be authentic with that question and sleep at night, then it's just perceptions. It's just perception. So hey, that's just another, I gotta go, I have to run. Yes, I gotta get up out of here. But again, hey, thank you for going on the journey with me. Thank you for allowing me to share my true self with you. And I'm here for you as well to share with me. And so can't wait to hear back from you all on how have you encouraged yourself, right? How are you leading your lives here today? And leading is teachable. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Stay blessed. Peace.